Afternoon, everybody. Clint Endersby from the Southern Livestock Exchange, the market report for the 1st of October. Today, 620 cattle, about 80 odd less than last week. Still a very good yarding, a lot of heavier cattle and a bigger percentage of cows this week. Market today probably felt a little bit easier in places. Overall, our average price was not far off of last week, but just felt a bit softer in throughout the market. The bulls today, they were the one thing, they were fully firm. They made anywhere from $4.20 through to $4.50. Had some very nice heavy bulls. They're obviously coming off of some reasonable feed now, being in the middle of spring here, and the bulls had weight and condition, and they also are very strong. The cow run, again, the cows showing a bit of polish. We had a big variety of cows, anywhere from cows that were fat and shiny and hard, but only weighing 520 or 30 kilos, through to some cows that were 800 kilos. Those well finished cows, if you had weight, you were 600 plus. Again, they were 390 through to $4.30. One pen of cows there that weighed 800 kilos, proper hard, good, not over fat. They were lovely cows. They topped out at $4.50. Then we had the medium run of cows, still had plenty of cover and bit of condition on those cows, but they only weighed 520 through to about 550 or 60 kilos. They just came back a bit, anywhere from sort of 370 through to $4. Once you dropped under that 520 kilos, cows slipped back a bit in the money. If they're a bit shelly cows back to the paddock, or some feeder type cows, they were $3 to 350. And then if you got down into your real light cows in your 400 kilo bracket, I think we had a few cows down as low as 250, but still majority of them 280 through to 330 or 40. Didn't have many trade steers today. A handful of them that we did have. $4.95 for a couple of for one good pen of Angus steers there, off the grass, weighing 650 odd kilos. Just under that, we had some 500 kilo steers. They ended up back in the feedlot, although they were reasonably forward for what they were. 500 kilo steers, they topped out at $5.10. Most of the feeder steers today in that genuine feeder, 380 to 500 kilo bracket. If they were straight beef and good, they were 460 through to that 510. If they had a little bit of dairy content or a crossbred type, they were anywhere from 440 through to 480. Heifers, grown heifers to the trade, $4.80. A couple of good pens of them. Had some other heifery, cowy type things. Yeah, they'd be sort of 4 and 6 teeth. They were sort of $4.50 through to $4.60. And then a couple of pens of heifers, probably more cowy than heifers. They made $4.40 through to $4.50 as well. In the lighter heifers, if you're in that proper feeder weight, they were fully firm on last week. The heifers were making between $4.30 through to $4.60. I think the best pen of black heifers topped out at $4.80 for some genuine 400 kilo feeder types. Once we slipped into the lighter ones, they slipped back a bit today. So your lighter heifers under 300 kilos, anywhere that 220 through to 280. Same story as last week. If you had a pen of nice Angus heifers, they were 440 to 450. That's probably 10 or 15 back on last week. But it was the ones and twos and the bits and pieces and the coloured heifers that probably took a bit of a hit today. They were $3.50 through to $4 for all the sort of off types and the bits and pieces. Similar story in the little steers. $5.50 brought you the pens of little Angus steers, but once we came off for that, we were $4.80 to $5 for the bits and pieces and all the coloured steers. Then we got into some little calves. There's a few little calves starting to show up. Some of the cows getting split. They're selling okay, but they're $3 to $4 depending on what they're like. But those calves are only weighing 100 to 150 or 60 kilos. A few milk fillers starting to show up. Those calves out of the butchers, $4.50, topped out at $5.30 for your real butcher calf. Still, the more weight, the better. Those calves weighing 280 to 330. They're making the 450 to 480. The calves that weigh 350 to 400, they're up in the money a bit. They're the ones making the 480 through to $5.30. So yeah, couple of categories there. As I said, just felt a little bit softer. Average price probably near on what it was last week, but just a few more numbers and the cattle getting a bit more kill about them. Just softened a little bit. That's all for today. We'll see you next week.